What's up, you beautiful bastards? Raziel here, and I'm going to do this video really quick, get to the points as fast as possible. My review, spoiler-free, after week 1 of World of Warcraft's latest expansion, Dragonflight. So we'll do the drop, and I'll just get right into it.
I am Raziel.
Alright everybody, so this is going to be my unbiased review. Again, a lot of these things are subjective. I'm not going to give any spoilers for story or anything like that, but I wanted to get through this list as fast as possible. So if you're wondering if you want to try Dragonflight, if you've been out of WoW for a long time, if you've never played the game, this will be a good video for you, or if you're just looking to get validated with your own shitty opinions, again, good video for you. But anyway, let's just move right in. I'm going to go with the good first. So the good, right out of the gate. The leveling experience was fantastic. It was very fast compared to other expansions. You know, I remember other expansions taking upwards of a week to reach the new level cap. Well, this time around, I was able to get the level cap in about 11 to 12 hours. Me and my friends did an all-night LAN party, as you can see on the screen now, and we were just going ape shit. I mean, I know most people aren't going to do that, but leveling is very, very, very good, which and very quick, which also means that the alt experience, getting your alternate characters up, is going to be even faster. So I really, really, really enjoyed that. The leveling process was smooth, and it was fun, and it didn't feel like a slog like it's been in the past. The graphics, they're still really good, especially for an 18-year-old game. Very, very nicely done. There wasn't a whole lot of changes in this department from Shadowlands, but the art department has carried the game for a long time, the art and music department. So again, really gorgeous visuals of the zones. Some of these zones are some of the prettiest zones I've ever seen in World of Warcraft. So the visuals are very, very well done. The music, fantastic. The music in all the zones is great, very immersive. I really, really like it. Again, the music team has done such a good job as always. In fact, one moment that stuck out is in one of the dungeons. I'm not going to say which dungeon, but the music is a reorchestrated and redone version of the music from the Storm Peaks and Wrath of the Lich King, and it's very Titan-esque, and it was very, very cool. Pulled me in and put a smile on my face. The talent systems, very, very welcome and awesome change. There are so many builds for so many different of the specs, and they're viable. There are PvP builds, there's Mythic Plus builds, there's raid builds, there's off-tank builds. There's multiple builds for PvP and for different things. Very, very awesome. The talent system, well, there's a lot of classes that need some work, and I'll get into that later. The overall idea behind the talent system has hit the mark for me. I think it's so much better than the system that's been in the game since Mists of Pandaria. So yeah, if you're looking for the RPG feel of customizing your character and trying different things out, WoW is finally back at that place. The dungeons. All the dungeons are really good. Now, there are dungeons that I find more annoying, but all of the design for the bosses and everything has been great. It's been fun. There's no dungeon I absolutely hate. There are other expansions I thought had better intro dungeons, such as I loved all the dungeons in Legion at launch. I think the Legion ones overall are better than Dragonflight's, but these dungeons aren't on bad levels like WoD's dungeons. You know, Warlords of Draenor's dungeons were terrible. I hated them. A lot of people hated the Cataclysm dungeons. I liked them because they were difficult, but again, subjective. Overall, I would give the dungeons a strong B+ to an A- in terms of how fun they are and how well designed they are. This is a big one. The crafting systems, the change they made to professions is amazing. I can't overstate this enough. The main professions in the game are fucking awesome. They're incredible. The work orders, leveling them up, talent trees within the crafting systems has been... I haven't cared about crafting in World of Warcraft for a long time. And I find myself when I log on spending a lot of time doing crafting and leveling it up and finding ways to get skill ups in it and stuff like that and doing work orders. It's really, really, really good. It's one of the best changes that WoW has seen since Flex Rating. This definitely needed a redesign, and the redesign has been an S-tier change. So if you love crafting, man, World of Warcraft, now it's time to get back into it. The world itself definitely has a lot going on. There's lots of treasures to find, which is good. A lot of rare spawns. So this leads into my next point. Gearing is so much better because a lot of people complain when Mythic Plus comes out next week that now to get the top tier gear from Mythic Plus, you no longer have to do plus 15 keys. You have to do plus 20. And a lot of people complain, but I think that's good because the Mythic Plus gear in a lot of cases was better than Mythic rating gear. But now you really, really are going to have to earn it. You got to get a plus 20 key to get the maximum rewards from it. But a lot of the rare mobs and events that spawn around the new zones reward gear based off of your current item level, so it scales. And it's a good way to get some gear and some off pieces and to gear up alts and do all kinds of things like that. Like it's great. Like the world event, the world of the Dragon Isles itself feels very alive with all the rare spawns and everything that you can do out there. Again, I went over gearing. Again, this is going to be the most probably friendly alt friendly expansion WoW has had in a decade. So if you're an alt player, this is definitely the expansion for you. The final point I want to put out there now for the good is the UI changes. The UI changes have been amazing. Yes, you still will need some add-ons like DBM if you're interested in DPS meters, details, stuff like that. But the customization of the UI, and Blizzard does say there's a lot more coming, is fantastic. It's a lot more like the free customization you have of your UI in games like Final Fantasy XIV. So I've really enjoyed it. I'm personally a UI minimalist, so the fact that now within the game I have the tools to make the UI look the way that I want, be in the spots that I want, activate when I want, etc., be the size that I want is amazing. Long overdue. It took 18 years, but here we are. We finally have a fantastic UI that has the tools built into the game, and I myself have cut out a lot of add-ons, which if you are of the same mindset, this is going to be a fantastic change for you as well. Now what I'm kind of neutral on in terms of what I think is I could go either way. It doesn't really bother me. The story I didn't really care too much about. If you're huge on narrative, why are you playing World of Warcraft in the first place? World of Warcraft hasn't told a good fucking story and since Wrath of the Lich King. Legion story was decent, but anyway, yeah, the story was very lukewarm for me. I don't really care too much. Some of this stuff, like near the end of the leveling experience, when you get to the Bronze Dragonflight content, the time traveling stuff was the highlight for me. That was amazing. I wish the whole expansion could have been like that, where you go back in time to different areas. I'm not going to talk about it, not going to spoil anything, but it's quick, but it's really, really, really fun, and I loved that part of it. But outside of that, pretty neutral. The size of the zone seems kind of small. That's another neutral thing for me. Is the expansion's area itself is kind of small. It feels a little underdeveloped in terms of size, but again, neutral about that. It doesn't ruin my day. Okay, now for the bad stuff. First and foremost, stability. The launch stability was pretty awful. Servers were having a lot of problems. For like a week, one of the zones was especially laggy. They fixed it with the maintenance yesterday. But a lot of bugs still in there. There's a lot of bugs with some talents. There's a lot of bugs with some quests. It's just probably one of the more buggy and unstable launches of an expansion that's been around for a while. Most of the other ones have been fairly smooth, especially Shadowlands was very smooth. The only positive is there weren't any queues, and I'm on a full server, so there wasn't a huge queue waiting list, where you're waiting for hours to even get in the game. But there are a lot of disconnects, a lot of your character getting stuck in things because, dragon riding gets you in certain areas, and stuff like that. So very unstable. It's better now, but I'm rating it on launch, so after the first week. Balance is in a poor spot right now, which I totally 100% expected, especially in things like PvP. There are a lot of tanks, especially like Guardian Druids, for example, are very overpowered and in PvP can take on like 6-7 players at once and never die and kill them all fairly quickly. Balance is really, really shit in PvP, and I would say not really, really shit, but bad in PvE. So, and I expect to see a lot of tuning and changes. They did say they did some changes yesterday, and they're doing more right before the raid launches on next Tuesday. but there's a lot of work needs to be done on the balance front. The balance is very, very bad. But with the new talent system, now they don't have to balance all these, extra systems and borrowed power systems that they've had to in the past. Blizzard should be able to do this much easier because they don't have to balance all that other shit with legendaries and all that stuff. So this will be the true test to see if they actually made it easier on themselves for balance. Balance changes should come much faster. And I'm hoping they do. I don't have a lot of faith in the team that they'll do it, but yeah, balance is bad, needs work. Now, I'm sure the sore thumb that's sticking out in this review is I haven't mentioned dragon riding, and how dare I not put it in the good. And let me hit dragon riding now. So I think dragon riding is amazing, but it's also very bad, and I'll go into this. So how it works, how it functions, how it feels is fantastic. The talent trees for your Drake, the customization, all fantastic. The reason why I put this in the possibly bad category is because it's set a precedent now that Blizzard has to uphold going forward. If dragon riding at the end of this expansion just goes away, that's going to be a huge fucking problem. Because once you go back to the old world, which by the way, like all expansions, is completely dead now. Go back to the old world, riding on a regular ass mount is so boring now by comparison, and they've really got to find a way to implement dragon riding in some form on all regular mounts, that flying mounts anyway, or most of them, come next expansion, or this is going to be a huge fucking L for Blizzard, because you can't add something this cool and then take it away at the end when it's so game changing. That's why I put it in the possibly very bad category, but dragon riding as it functions and as it's implemented is amazing. It's fantastic. I love it. It's fun. But if they don't carry it on over in some form into the expansions going forward, that's going to be really, really bad. But yeah, that's my unbiased, I'm not emotionally invested review of Dragonflight after week 1 has ended and we're 2 days into week 2. The raid comes out next week, as well as Mythic Plus and Season 1 of PvP. So that's what I'm really, really looking forward to. If you haven't given it a shot, I would say give it a shot. It's a really fun time to get back in the game, especially if you're a crafter. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'll have more content coming really soon, as well as, again, I'm still streaming. But I know some people told me that they prefer Twitch to YouTube. So what I'm doing now is restreaming. I'm streaming to both platforms at the same time while I'm streaming. So if you prefer Twitch and that's the way you want to show support, you can do that still. If you say, fuck Twitch, like, this is my mentality, you want to do YouTube, come here. But as of now, still streaming every Tuesday and Thursday. I change back and forth with times because my work schedule just changed. But I'm doing all I can, so you will be notified on either platform when I'm live. But anyway, guys, thanks for your support. Thoughts and opinions down below if you're playing, if you're interested in playing. And as always, my friends, keep it real.